All right, hello everyone. We are going to jump in, do some more Tour 9 here. And in case, you haven't seen all of my tutorials, I'm going to go with my standard Tour 9 bag. And if you want to check out some more holes, you're going to, familiarize yourself with, my typical bag and club setups that I do for these holes. And here we get an interesting wind. It's a little bit downwind. So the way that I do play this hole could be a little bit different. Sometimes I'll go for it, sometimes I won't. It's a very risky shot to go for it on a wind like that. I feel a little bit more comfortable with a pocket on it because of the extra side spin boost or curl boost. So, I might lay up here. In terms of a ball, if I'm going to do a layup, I might do it with a, more of a power ball here. Just for the second shot. I'm trying to think of, good technique for the second shot. Using a kingmaker, though, can also be a good opportunity for you to actually go for the other side. Why don't we just try it here? So what I like to do for a Thor's hammer is about 2 full targets. I'm going to do just a little bit extra here because it is going to be hooking quite a bit more past, and it looks like I was being a little cautious. I didn't want to land in the rough, so that did cost me. Notice how I took off some of my topspin. I only used about 3 there. Now it's kind of, hard to decide, like, is where I am a better spot or is where this other side the better spot? Even if I'm in the rough, where I am is very usable. And just keep in mind that for your aim, with a Thor hammer, it's going to be about 2 full targets. So wherever you put the left edge of the bullseye, then stack an additional target on that, anticipate it landing on that target's edge. Now what you saw me do is I went a couple rings beyond that. 1, because it's a downhill shot. 2, because we're going, full power, and, I just want to make sure that I'm not going to, cost myself anything. And what you're going to see me do here is just kind of size this up. I'm assuming, if I put it kind of on the edge here, it's going to land about a ring shorter. And hopefully this will kind of groove towards the hole like this. That was way early there. So going to miss here. It basically comes down to perfect ball timing and perfect ball timing only. But at the worst case scenario, we go to shootout, not a big deal. As you can see, there's no real risk on that pitch. So it's kind of a very good reward to give yourself a good opportunity to, 60-70% make it, and especially if you can really hone in on that perfect ball timing. From the right, I find, I'm very sound with my perfect ball, but that's also the first one of the day for me, or I don't think I've had one today. So, yeah, I definitely haven't. Well, no, I just had one. We just did one, and I was able to get it there. Here, that was my second one from the rough. Okay, so let's talk about this shootout here. What I like to do is I play it almost pretty much spot up max club. Now what I do for my spin is I use about 3 backspin, especially on side winds. So what you'll see here is I'll set up kind of just a little bit left because I know it's going to kind of pitch a little bit left. And I might, for a 5.4 mile per hour, I might only go 5 rings here. I usually keep it just a little bit under max because it doesn't quite go max at a side wind, and I might just kind of just straighten it out a little bit. Let's see what this looks like. And it is very much about distance control and kind of having good distance control on this one. It's very hard to groove this. If you've watched some of my earlier shootouts, you might want to really check out some of these new ones and just kind of almost disregard, because they changed the front of this green. It used to be basically straightforward and very flat, and my shot would have probably rolled to, you know, within a yard right of the pin. Now it's on a little crest. Anything to the right and it doesn't come back, and anything to the left and it doesn't come back. So it just kind of, it's on, the pin is kind of on a crown now, and you have to hit that perfect groove. If you don't hit that perfect groove, it rolls to the left if you're left, it rolls to the right if you're right. So this is just going to be something that you just kind of have to adapt to. You know, 2 yards is going to be a bit of a premium. If you can do about 2 yards on that hole now, you're really doing a good job. On those lower winds, you're going to want to have a little bit more precision, but if you can do, you know, keep it around 2 yards on something that's, you know, maybe like a 10 wind or a 8 wind, that's going to be a very well executed shot. And just be on the lookout for all of my shootouts collectively for that hole, because, you know, I'm not always going to play it with 3 backspin. You always need to be thinking about, is it into the wind? Is it downwind? You might have to crank it up. You might have to take off. And same with, you know, side spin or curl, you know, to kind of straighten out that line. These are all factors that you need to be factoring in. So each wind's going to be a little bit different. So you might want to check out a lot of my shootout tutorials for that hole, and just kind of, you know, get a sense of, you know, what you need to do on each of the different winds. So good luck with that shootout hole, and be on the lookout for future videos of mine.